Prince George just made royal history, and hardly anyone noticed. At just 12 years old, he quietly joined King Charles, Queen Camilla, and his mother, Catherine, Princess of Wales, for one of the most emotional royal events of the year, the Festival of Remembrance at the Royal Albert Hall. The cameras caught his calm, respectful demeanor as he stepped into a world of royal tradition that stretches back generations. But this wasn't just another public appearance, it was a symbolic initiation into the duties that will one day define his life. The Festival of Remembrance isn't a typical royal engagement. It's one of the most sacred moments on the royal calendar, honoring those who gave their lives in service to the nation. This year carried special significance, marking 80 years since the end of World War II, and 25 years since gay people were allowed to serve openly in the British Armed Forces. The entire evening was steeped in history and emotion, from the standing ovation for veterans to the orchestra's solemn notes echoing through the hall. For the young prince, it was a first-hand lesson in what royal duty truly means: remembrance, unity, and respect. Observers couldn't help but notice how composed George appeared beside his mother. He sat quietly, wearing a dark suit and looking every inch the future king in training. Beside him, Catherine wore a handmade poppy crafted from silk and glass, a symbol of remembrance that has become one of her signature touches. Royal watchers say this public debut was deliberate, a sign that the palace is slowly preparing George for a future of duty and public service. Every gesture, every quiet smile, seemed to carry the weight of his family's legacy. Interestingly, Prince William was not present that evening. He was in Brazil, representing Britain at the COP30 UN Climate Summit, where he addressed global leaders about the environment. His absence was felt, but in a way, it made George's presence even more meaningful. For the first time, he was representing the family in an event of national importance without his father beside him. A small but powerful step in his journey from royal child to royal heir. King Charles, meanwhile, looked visibly moved as he led the audience in honoring those who had fallen. It's been a year of symbolic gestures for the monarch, from unveiling a memorial dedicated to LGBTQ+ military personnel, to attending events that reflect his vision of a more inclusive, modern monarchy. The Festival of Remembrance was another chance to showcase that evolution. As the Chelsea pensioners marched across the stage, the king stood with quiet dignity, a reminder that leadership can be gentle, yet deeply powerful. Beside him, Queen Camilla mirrored his composure, a steady presence who has grown into her role with quiet strength. And then there was Catherine, regal yet grounded, her focus entirely on her son. Sources close to the palace say moments like these are carefully thought out, not as publicity stunts, but as lessons in legacy. They reveal how the royal family passes on values, not through speeches, but through example. This night wasn't just about remembrance, it was about renewal. Prince George's increasing appearances, from cheering at sports events to standing beside world leaders, show how he's being gradually introduced to the life awaiting him. Reports suggest the palace will continue easing him into more semi-official roles in the coming years, ensuring he grows comfortable in the spotlight while still protecting his childhood. It's a delicate balance, one his parents seem determined to manage carefully. And as the ceremony ended, one thing became clear: the monarchy's future isn't some distant idea, it's already here. George's quiet presence beside his mother symbolized continuity, respect, and a sense of calm that Britain often seeks from its royals. A boy who once waved shyly from palace balconies is now learning to stand in solemn silence among kings and queens. But it raises a question: how early is too early for royal duty? Should Prince George be gradually introduced to the weight of his destiny, or allowed a few more years of childhood before the world begins watching every move? It's a question only time, and history, will answer.